If you're trying to turn sports betting into real money, this is where you start. I've followed this exact 8-step system to get real, consistent results without relying on lucky picks. It's a simple, repeatable strategy that works even if you're starting from scratch. So in this video, I'll break down the $100,000 framework step by step so you can stop gambling like a fan and start thinking like a professional bettor. But first, let's talk about step 1, because this one's big. Most beginners think they're trying to beat the sportsbook, but once you realize your goal is to think like the sportsbook, everything changes. Let me give you a quick story. Back in the day, I used to play a lot of blackjack. Not seriously, just enough to think I was smart. And one night, I'm on a roll, doubling down, feeling good, talking a little trash. Meanwhile, the dealer's just standing there, stone-faced, flipping cards like a robot. Of course, I gave all my winnings back and walked away pissed. And that's when it hit me. The dealer doesn't care, doesn't tilt, doesn't chase losses, just plays the same edge over and over. And in the end, the house always gets paid. That's the mindset you need with sports betting. But here's the real question. How do you actually find bets where you have the edge? That's where OddsJam comes in. It scans thousands of lines across all the major sports books and shows you where the odds are off. It's what professional bettors use to find positive EV bets fast. I'll drop a link in the description if you want to check it out. But all right, step 2. And this is where most people get stuck. Because if you don't understand this, you're basically betting blind. And that's exactly why most bettors stay losing. So here's a simple way to think about it. Imagine you're flipping a coin with your buddy. It's a 50-50 game, but every time you win, he gives you $2. But when you lose, you only owe him $1. You'd flip that coin all day, right? That little edge doesn't seem like much, but over time, you'd crush him. That's positive expected value. It just means you're betting into situations where the odds are tilted slightly in your favor. So here's the shift. Stop asking, who's going to win? Start asking, is this price wrong? Because that's the only kind of bet that matters long term. But step 3 changes the game. And here's why. You don't need to live in spreadsheets or do complicated math to find profitable bets. There's a shortcut, and it's way simpler than you think. Back when I first started learning this stuff, I tried to do it all manually. I'd compare odds across 5 different sports books, punch numbers into a calculator, and try to figure out if I was getting value or not. It took forever, and half the time I was still guessing. Then I found tools that do the math for you. Just scan the lines, and it shows you the plus EV bets instantly. No spreadsheets, no guesswork. The idea here is simple. Your edge comes from spotting mispriced lines. And software like OddsJam does that automatically. It looks at thousands of markets, compares prices, and shows you where the value is in real time. So if you're trying to build a real edge without burning hours a day, use the tech. Let OddsJam surface the value. Your job is to place smart bets, not do long division. Links in the description, by the way. But step 4 is where things really start to click, because this is the silent bankroll killer. And here's the crazy part. Most bettors have no idea it's even happening. Let me explain. A while back, I thought I was eating clean. No junk food, drinking smoothies, feeling good. Then I started using a nutrition tracker, and that healthy smoothie I was pounding every morning? Yeah, 600 calories and more sugar than a glazed donut. I wasn't getting fit. I was just lying to myself. In smoothie form. Betting's no different. If you're not tracking your bets, your brain will convince you that you're doing better than you are. We remember the wins and forget the 5 random bets we made at midnight after a couple drinks. So here's what helps. Use a Google Sheet, a notes app, whatever keeps you consistent. Just log the basics. Date, bet, odds, stake, result. Or, if you want to make it super easy, use a tool like OddsJam. It tracks everything for you. Point is, track something, because if you're not measuring it, you can't improve it. And the pros, they know their numbers cold. But don't skip step 5, because a tiny difference in odds can be the difference between long-term profit and long-term pain, and most people never even bother to check. Let me give you a quick story. I once bought a pair of shoes I'd been eyeing for weeks, pulled the trigger, felt good about it, then found the exact same pair on another site, $20 cheaper. I was sick. And the worst part? I didn't even check. That's line shopping in a nutshell. Except instead of saving $20, you're leaving money on the table. Every single bet. Look, once you decide to place a bet, your job isn't done. You still need to shop the line, check across sports books, and find the one offering the best price, because even just a few cents difference in the odds can swing your long-term results in a big way. So once you've found a bet you like, don't just place it on the first book you open. Take 30 seconds, compare prices, lock in the best number. It's the easiest edge you'll ever get. Moving on to step 6, and it's not what you think. This isn't really about how much you bet, it's about how you survive losing streaks and actually win the long game. Let me tell you about the time I thought I found the easiest money of my life. Juventus was at 2.05 odds against some bottom table team. I was like, come on, free cash. So I went all in. Full bankroll. No hesitation. What I didn't know? Juve rolled out their bench squad. They looked hungover for the entire match, and in the 89th minute, boom, equalizer, 1-1 draw. I stared at my balance like I just got robbed. Lesson learned. Doesn't matter how sure a bet looks, bad variance will find you eventually, and if your whole bankroll is riding on it, you're done. So here's the pro move. Stick to 1 to 2% of your bankroll per bet. That's it. No chasing. No, this one feels different. Just disciplined, boring consistency, because in this game, survival is the strategy. So next up is step 7, and honestly, it might be the most important one yet, because the edge doesn't come from picking perfect bets. It comes from showing up day after day with discipline. Here's the thing no one tells you. Most people don't lose because they're dumb. They lose because they burn out. They start strong, scanning lines, tracking bets, super locked in, and then life gets in the way. One missed day turns into a week, and the edge, it disappears. That's why automation is your friend. Set alerts, use tools that track your bets automatically, and use OddsJam to surface plus EV plays without manually hunting for hours. I'll drop the link below, and if you end up trying it, use the code LUKEPARLAY for 35% off your first month after the free trial. But the bottom line? Remove as many friction points as you can. So, betting smart becomes the default, not the exception. Now, step 8 is all about momentum, and if this one doesn't make you rethink how you approach betting, nothing will. You ever see that guy who hits the gym hard for 2 straight weeks in January and then disappears till next year? That's most bettors. They get fired up, go all in for a bit, start chasing edges, tracking every stat, and then life happens. The habit breaks. The edge fades. Pros don't do that. They keep it boring, consistent, automatic. They've built a daily rhythm, scan for value, log bets, review results, and they stick to it whether they feel like it or not. That's how you stack the odds in your favor. So set a time each day, maybe it's 15 minutes before work. Use a tool like OddsJam to do the heavy lifting. Make smart betting a routine, not a sprint, because this game rewards consistency, not intensity. So by now, you know sharp betting is all about finding an edge and protecting your bankroll. But what if you could lock in profit before the game even starts, no matter who wins? That's what arbitrage betting lets you do. So check out this next video, where I break down the only arbitrage strategy you'll ever need, step by step. It's simple, low risk, and something every serious bettor should have in their toolkit.